Hey guys, I'm Chance Williams. So I am the administrator and I guess the man over my Facebook group. That's Chance Shop Talk. I wanted to reach out to you guys through this video right here and let you know that you're not alone. A lot of you guys are really wanting to get involved in learning more about automotive, and a lot of you are finding out that it's super damn expensive, and yes it is. But at the same time, you old geezers such as me are around for as many years as we have been. I think it's time we, kind of, swing some of that knowledge and pass some of our information on to these newer folks. And even the older geezers out there, even me, I'm actually learning new and improving stuff every day. So let's get past the formalities. My name's Chance Williams. I own Williams Automotive and Transmission Repair in LaGrange, Georgia, and a lot of you guys know that. I've worked myself to death for the last 35 years. I have chronic pains all out through my body, such as a lot of my members in here. And I want to let you know that you're not alone. You're not alone at all. I'm here with you guys, and I'm also here doing an affiliate marketing, and I'm learning a different trade and a new trade, and I'm doing that because my body can't sustain the stuff that I'm going through on a daily basis. So I hope this video helps you guys out to work a little smarter, not be crawling all over cars, snatching parts off when you don't need to, putting your body through hell. And it's a tough field. This is one of the hardest things I've ever done. I've done the pulpwood and I've done the the roofing and stuff. That just doesn't seem as physical and mental as tough as automotive is. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoy this video that I'm fixing to put out here. And if y'all have any questions or anything like that, or if y'all are really interested in doing some affiliate marketing, doing the things that I'm doing to try to turn my life around and grab more income coming in for when I do step away from turning wrenches. Now look, I'm a technician, and I'll be honest with you, I probably will never, and when I say never, I probably will never step away from cars completely. But I got to step out and get away from the fast lane that I'm in, because hell, I want to enjoy life a little bit, and you got to enjoy life. You got to be able to afford it. And so, hey, that's what I want to do. And I want to replace my income, but I want to replace it with something that I like doing and that I want to do. And so far, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, y'all need to think about what you're going to be doing in the next 10 years. I know what I'll be doing, and I'll know where I'll be. And I'm hoping y'all will, understand a little bit about what I'm telling you is you can't do this the rest of your life. So until then, enjoy the video. If y'all want any questions, answers, any comments, all y'all got to do is hit me up. I'm through Facebook, through Messenger. Leave some comments on this channel right here. I'll get back with you. I'll leave some links below and see if y'all are interested in it. I'll try to leave some links below to the actual tools that I use. And no, I don't have an affiliate. There's not an affiliate link to the tools, although they will be soon. And hopefully y'all will support me in my endeavor and trying to get out and try and train and teach and give as much information out on the stuff that I've done my whole entire life. Until then, y'all take care. Hey guys, it's Chance Williams here. So today on Chance Shop Talk, I want to talk to you guys about no start conditions. I know a lot of you guys have gotten cars in to your service bays, or you've had customers call you in the past and they'd be sitting at a grocery store or what have you and go, hey, my car don't start. And you go, okay, tell me what's it doing. Well, it just don't start up. And a lot of times the customers, they don't give you the correct information to start with. So you're thinking no start as in no starter engagement or what have you. Then you have to pry a little deeper and go, hey, is it spinning over and no start, or is it just a no start? And a lot of the times they'll tell you the truth about it. Yeah, let's spin over. Or sometimes they're just panicky and they don't understand what you're saying. So for instance, you get it towed in. Mr. Miss Customer, we got your car towed in yesterday. The wrecker driver, he went and crunk it up and drove it off the back of the wrecker. So, we took liberty to pull it inside, and all of a sudden, it's been running and running and running and running. Well, let's go a little deeper in that. So, years ago, we didn't have the ability to do what they call low voltage ramping, right? All right, so low voltage ramping is the key to a lot of good, successful repairs. So we're going to talk about low voltage ramping on a fuel pump. Now, I've heard other pray tell witnesses and experts talk about these fuel pumps right here. So this one right here is actually a brand new fuel pump, and I actually cut this sucker apart. I went and spent my money on it, and I think it cost like 50 bucks. So I wanted to see what was inside. I knew what was inside, but I wanted it mainly to see how many armatures there were on her. So a lot of people say the most common ones are 6. I've cut some bad ones open. They've all been 8 armatures. This one right here I marked right here, and it shows, you know, when you count them, there's 8. All right, so a lot of folks are wondering, well, how in the heck can you tell how many armatures in there without firing it up? I mean, you're firing your grinder up and ripping this daggum thing apart, and just to see how many armatures are in there. So I guess the best way to do it would be low voltage ramping, right? All right, so low voltage ramping is a really cool, really easy, very, very, very simple trick. Now, we'll show you a couple of things that we got here. I purchased this from OTC. I had a snap-on, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I used it a lot, but I didn't use it enough for it to break, and I took very good care of it. But I always had problems with my, my AMP Prob. So this is the one that I got from OTC, and it's a pretty neat little tool. I've used it a few times, and I like it. It's 20 to 80 amps, so I like it. But also I went ahead and purchased these fuse jumpers. These are pretty neat. You put some fuses in the side of them, and that way if you have any problems with a short circuit or anything, it'll pop the fuse and won't damage anything other beyond that. So it won't burn your wire up or what have you. But they got multiple different ones on these right here, and I like them. They are pretty neat. I haven't got the opportunity to use these yet, but I know they'll work out very well. Like I said, you just pop the fuses in there, the ones that you're going to use. It also does come with a battery, but I also like using the Energizer, the Duracell. They're good batteries. So get back to the customer's complaint. Well, Mr. and Miss Customer, we have not been able to duplicate your problem. What happens? You turn the car loose, send them out the door. Dadgum, they call you 10 minutes later. Hey, my car is broke down here. Now the customer's tied up in a deal with 2 record bills. He's not very happy with you, or she's not very happy with you, and that's not a good thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire up the old lab scope here. First off, I want to show you a wiring diagram that I got pulled up on here. This is just a regular 2006 6-liter Chevrolet pickup. All you got is the power and the ground, and you can actually check the power and or the ground with your AMP Prob. It doesn't matter, whichever side you can get to, that's the easiest. Now I've got 2 fuel pumps here that I'm gonna try out. This first one is a used one that I have here. It come out of like an 89 Chevrolet, I believe, and I don't know if it ran or not, because it's a long story on that truck, but I ended up doing a sniper system on it for a Holly, and for some reason or another, it was a complete fuel injection engine and transmission. Everything was fuel injected, electronic controlled, and somebody decides they didn't like something in there and they started ripping stuff out. Well, I basically rebuilt the truck to get a new fuel pump put in the tank, so I kept this one. But anyway, we're going to fire this thing up here and just show you on this wiring schematic. It's just the power and the ground. Let me switch these 2 cables real quick, because one of my leads fell a while ago that goes into the television, and I hate that happened. It's just a monitor, but it is what it is. All right, so I've already taken a screenshot of this, and a lot of you guys go, well, how in the world do you pick out how many armatures it is? The first thing you really look at, honestly, I'll get my little screwdriver out here, is the first unique hump. That's pretty much a point. And the rest of them are kind of rounded, and you got a lot of hash in here, and you even got a drop or a spike here. This is actually where I ran this pump a little bit. Now I am running it dry. I am not running it, submerged in liquid. I'm just giving you basic ideas of how this system works when you're doing low voltage ramping. This is not too bad on this pump. Actually, it'll probably last a little while. But anyway, you look for the first unique hump, then you count over, and you get to 8. So that's 8, and then it starts over again. That's how many armatures you have in there. So if you had here and you stopped at 6, and then this hump started over again like this one did, then you'd be right back at 6 or 8, depending on however many armatures they have in there. So that's the best way to do it, and the best way to do it is to freeze frame it, because when you trying to mimic this thing with it running, it's sometimes kind of difficult. And I'll show you a couple of screenshots of some good fuel pumps and some bad fuel pumps. This one's really not all that bad, but like I said, it is an older model pump, and apparently it did work when it was in the truck, and it still works here on the bench. So let's fire this thing up and see how it works. So we're going to start our screen over. We're going to fire up our old AMP Prob here and put it on 20 amps. And we're going to click, we're going to put it on, we're going to zero it. I think it's zeroed all right. Yeah, it's zeroed. So we're going to clamp it around the positive lead here, so I don't come disconnected here. So we're going to turn it on. Let's do it. Alright, it sounds kind of bad, and the more I've run it just to take some screenshots of it, it's still not too bad. I'd really like to see more of a rounded, uniform pattern of like a little heel. That would be the ideal pump. Now you will see, if you run in a car long enough, little small dropout and glitches and stuff like that. I'm not too sure if I would ever worry about that, but I would worry about it in the hump area if it started dropping out and it was lower on the scale than the rest of them are up higher. You can also see your numbers down here. So that's what it's actually pulling live, is 100 milliamps. But anyway, with this thing running like this pump will probably be okay for a while. I don't see why it wouldn't last for a good long time. But if I keep running it out of water like this, you guys know, I know you've all been told, don't run these things below a quarter of a tank. You'll always need at least a quarter of a tank of fuel in there to keep the fuel pump cool. Well, I gotta tell you, that's a pretty heavy duty pump. This old one right here, I mean, the base of it's pretty stout. The bearings in it feel like they're really good, even after I mangled it to get it out. I like them. They've done a pretty decent pump job on the, building these pumps. So I got one more fuel pump we're going to fire up, and we're going to turn this one off. So let's turn this fuel pump off, and we're going to go to the next one. And that one would be a brand new one. It is not used. It is brand spanking new. So we're going to go with it, because I got it hidden under the table down here and I got it hooked up. But it's a complete module assembly. But anyway, let's fire this little joker up and see what happens here. Zero my meter. It's zeroed. Now watch, I want to show y'all something special about this. Now I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and I think this had never been operated. So if you guys use lab scopes and then you recheck the pump after the fact, I'm going to show you something. This is pretty cool. Let's see if this one may not do it, but let's see if it does it. All right. Let me get my ground. I guess I don't. I hope I got a pump that works. Oh, let me hook it up here. Here we go. Ground, power. No, we need the power. Uh-oh. I forgot to hook my probe up, guys. That kind of got me. Took me for a loop up there a minute. Alright, so let's start it up. It's all zeroed out. Alright. We'll do it like this. Alright, this is a brand new pump. Pardon me for my messing up there. Okay, so this pump actually didn't do it, but this is pretty neat little pump right here. I'm not going to run it very long because, like I said, it is a brand new pump. But we're going to pause that thing for just a minute, and we're going to turn the power off. Now, see, this is much more uniform pattern, which is pretty good. I think that's a spike where it started up right before it started up on the next one. So this one's got. Let's see if we can figure this one out. So I got cursors up here to help me out. So I'm looking for that one unique hump, and it looks like it's that one right there where it started. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's the unique hump right there. You know, the way this is looking, this looks like this might have 9 armatures in it. I've never seen one. I heard anybody talk about that. But looking at my unique hump, and looks like where it started over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Yeah, that is 8. That's 8 of them. Okay. So anyway, that's a pretty neat waveform. I like that. A lot of times what I was getting at, and it may be not doing it because it's not submerged underwater and there's really no load on this thing. When it starts pulling the fuel, there's a lot of load. When that happens right there, what I have always seen on a brand new pump installed is this waveform would just literally just be like destructive as soon as the pump's turned on. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, not being submerged underwater when you're checking a brand new pump right before you fire it up and you're doing the low voltage ramping on it. I think that's the reason why. But anyway, this is a little bit better pattern, and it eventually calmed down and the amperage was drop on it when the more it gets seated in. And who knows, I borrowed this from the parts store. They may have already done stuck it in a car somewhere and stuck it back on the shelf. Y'all kind of know this what happens from time to time. But anyway, with that being said, that's how this brand new fuel pump works compared to the other one. Now, so let me show you a couple of patterns of a good pattern of some fuel pump patterns and some bad ones. So as you can tell from our patterns, we really don't have anything that's that bad. It's really not that bad. But anyway, let me stop sharing the screen here and we'll come over to here. We'll get rid of this here right there, and we'll open up these files right here. Alright, so this is a pattern of a fuel pump that is actually a real good working fuel pump. So it's got very nice pattern to it, and if you look, there's kind of a uniqueness to it, and then there's another uniqueness to it right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's actually 6. So there's actually 6 in this one right here. 6 of these armatures right here, according to that little diagram right there. So it's kind of a little difficult to pick out, but the more you do this stuff, the better off you'll be. Wow, that magnet's strong. It's just like it just stuck in there. Either my fingers are just getting weak. But anyway, this is a pattern of one known good one right here. So let's show you one of a known bad one right here. This one right here, it's all over the place. If you ever see a fuel pump, a car running like this, and you got your low amperage fuel pump hooked up and everything, then guess what? The customer that called you and told you the car was, sitting in the parking lot broke, that's what this is going to be. You can with strict confidence call, hey, you need a fuel pump, install it, and I guarantee you just about 100% to be out the door and not have any problems, providing you have no wiring issues and no grounding issues. And that would be some of the things that you're supposed to check when you're doing your diagnostics on these cars, correct? So that's a good thing to do. Now, one other thing I want to tell you, if you guys don't want to go stretching out your fuel pressure gauges, and you don't want to worry about getting fuel all over you, if you just don't want to deal with the hassle of looking for banjo fittings, if it's a Honda or if it's a Mazda or the ones with the banjo fitting style fuel pumps and the fuel rails, and you have to break out the master kit and all this other stuff, I can tell you one of the easiest ways to tell if you've got a restricted fuel pump on one of these things is hook up your AMP probe. So if you've got a restricted fuel filter, what would happen if fuel is coming in at the rate that it's supposed to, and over time the fuel filter stops up on it? It creates a block or a dam. Therefore, the amperage on the fuel pump increases, right? So if you've got a pretty decent, let me go back to this one right here. So if, say for instance, you got a pretty decent waveform pattern here. Let's go to, let's go to the correct one, guys. So say for instance, you got a really nice, decent, smooth waveform, but your amperage is increasing on this thing. but it looks really good, other than it's got more amperage than it's pulling. Now these fuel pumps are, will pop a fuse at whatever it's rated at. Some of them, whatever the fuse rating is on whatever manufacturer, they got so many different ones out there. But say for instance your amperage is increasing on the pump, but it looks really good and it looks really nice, I would more than likely suspect a fuel filter. Now another way that you could actually find out whether you got a problem with restricted fuel system is also through your downstream O2 sensor. Y'all can look into that, try to find some information out on that. Maybe I'll post something later and show you how a test drive will tell you if you got ample amount of fuel that the computer is capable of delivering. I guess that's pretty much it right now on this episode. And for any and all of you out there that's actually watching, I sure appreciate it, and y'all leave me some comments, and y'all take care of yourself. And remember, try to work a little bit harder, and I mean not harder but smarter. And I know these tools and stuff, they're very expensive, but look, Snap-on's got their low amp probe out for like $400. I just didn't feel like, I've bought 3 over the last 25 years. I'm not buying no more. So I bought this and these fuse kits right here, which I like, and they're going to come in pretty handy for me, and it makes life a lot easier and a lot quicker to diagnose things. So with that being said, these right here, I think y'all might say it was a little pricey, but these were like 35 bucks, and this was like $150. It was a little like $213 or something like that for all these that I bought, and it just makes life easier for me. And yes, this lab scope over here is very, very super expensive, but I'll tell you another little trick you could do. You can actually, it doesn't help out very well, but it'll give you an idea of what the amperage is. You can actually use your low amp probe on your voltmeter here. I was going to demonstrate it, but I let somebody use it, and guess what? I think my fuse is blown or something internal on this thing, and that's aggravating when you give somebody something to borrow something. You're supposed to get it back in better condition, but apparently I didn't get it back in better condition. But all right, guys, I think that was some really good information for you out there, and I think that's some of the easiest ways to help you guys out in the future is doing low amp current probing on these fuel pumps. It doesn't matter. Now look, I haven't got into the ones with the control modules. The best way to do that is bypass the control modules. If you look in most service information, you can find out, so you can actually just wire the fuel pump up across to a couple of terminals over, or unplug it and then run you straight power to these fuel pumps on the ones that control with the control modules. Now, because I haven't looked into information on actually how to low voltage wrap one that is being controlled duty cycle by the control module, I haven't looked into that yet. I probably will, but I haven't had any reason to. Typically, I just bypass it and check the pump itself and be done. That's a little more work involved, especially when they got a lot of controllers and stuff that are actually hidden. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Until the very next time, y'all take care of yourself now here.